Are you lonely?
Sometimes.
Sometimes,
but
yes.
I think there's a difference between being lonely and being alone.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
tell me more.
So I've been single for 5 years.
Yes.
I was married and I'm divorced.
Uh-huh.
And I think living in this city is very, very tough. And dating is very, very tough. And being far away from my family and my community is difficult a lot of the time. So there are some days where I feel that loneliness really deeply. And then other days where I sort of go, oh, I've done it myself for such a long time, and I know I can count on me.
Yes.
So I'm not as lonely because I know that I can show up to be my own best friend if needed. But luckily I have a whole community of really wonderful friends, and
Cool.
I'm very grateful for them.
So you actually brought up a lot of good points I want to ask you about, okay? So you've been married. So you think being married can help loneliness or opposite?
Ooh, okay, so I think it can do both.
Uh-huh.
And what I've discovered about marriage is that when I look for a partner, I want them to be a truly equitable partner.
Right.
So I want there to be some sort of like something additive. Because I can do so well on my own.
Right.
So if somebody is going to come into that peaceful, easeful world, I need them to be able to continue to keep that peace and add to the security and safety of our partnership.
Right.
So I think that there are some people who might get married for other reasons, and they're not quite equipped to change along with each other in a long-term committed relationship.
Right.
And then I think there are other people who do very, very well in that, and like they will be best friends with their partner for the rest of their life.
Right.
And this can be a partner, it can be multiple partners, depending on what the structure is.
True.
So I think you can be in a marriage and be very, very lonely.
Exactly. I think it could be the worst type of. I always tell people the worst type of loneliness probably is when you are with someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yes.
There's something so desolate about it because what you
Yes.
understand is that you have chosen someone to be a witness to your life.
Yes.
And somewhere along the line, it didn't quite go the way that you planned and hoped.
Right.
And then you feel sometimes trapped or stuck.
Yes.
And lonelier than you would be if you lived by yourself.
Yes.
And I have been there.
Yes.
And I very much feel compassion for people who are still in that.
Yeah.
And hope that they get a choice of change one day.
Exactly. Yeah, you brought up a good word, which is hope. I think why I think the worst type of loneliness is when you are with someone. It doesn't have to be in relationship. You could be you surrounded by people. It's because I think if you are alone, you will say, oh, I hope I meet my friends soon. Maybe your friends is busy. They are busy, and then you say, oh, when I meet my friends, I will be not lonely. There's hope in there. But when you are already with a group of people or with someone, then you will feel like hopelessness when you feel lonely,
Yes.
So that's why I think the worst type of loneliness is when you are with someone. So I think the solution would be you need to make change, which sometimes is hard for some people when they get used to surrounded by a lot of people or in a relationship or something like that. So what do you think? You have mentioned about dating in the city can be hard. So why you think in a big city dating is harder than other places?
I think that Hinge is the 10th circle of hell. I've tried it, and it is it's difficult for me because I think when I meet people, I like to be met with their energy.
Right.
And over Hinge, you don't get that. Right?
Yes.
People present themselves in a certain way, so I don't get that immediate like, oh, this is a person who is open and curious and who I want to get to know more. So there's a lot of risk involved. Being a woman, there's a lot of safety things that you have to keep involved. So there's a lot of like mental and emotional and physical safety and logistics that you have to worry about that gets tiring after a while.
Right. But the upside is in here you can meet a lot of people. You can,
You can.
like,
There
yeah,
are
you have more
plenty out
choice,
there.
right? Yeah.
There are plenty.
Uh-huh.
But I think there is something about digital dating that's changing.
Yeah.
I've been seeing a lot more of like people signing up to go to dinners with strangers or doing some sort of like a speed dating thing
Right,
in their
right.
community.
Uh-huh.
So I think there's going to be a resurgence of trying to meet people in real life, and that this sort of like digital thing was an experiment and it
Yes.
worked for some people and it might not be working anymore.
Yeah, I was told like online dating is guarantee a lot of first dates.
Yeah.
yeah. I think someone said yeah in an interview. Yeah, so interesting. So what you would suggest people if they feel lonely in this beautiful big city? What should they do?
Breathe through it first
Yeah.
of all, because it's not going to happen. So I think you have to try to cultivate the tools that you use when you start to feel that way, so that you don't spiral or get trapped in that feeling as if it's the truth, because it doesn't have to be. It isn't necessarily.
Right.
So if you can break that sort of feeling or pattern as you move through it by going for a walk, eating nourishing foods, calling a friend or a family member, and
Right.
just sort of like popping yourself out of that. And then the next level is like planning some dates for yourself, right?
Yes.
So I've done the Artist's Way before, and they talk about like morning pages, so writing down your thoughts and then taking yourself on artist dates.
Right.
So go to a museum, go to the park, sketch something, listen to your favorite music. You know, go
Yes.
back to like early 90s R&B and listen to a whole discography of somebody, you know?
Yes.
And just sort of break out of the feeling of I am lonely.
Right.
Instead of like you're feeling lonely in this moment. It's
Yes.
not who you are. So you
Yes.
don't have to identify of like I am a lonely person.
Yes.
Because I don't know that needs to be true for anybody.
Yes, I truly think, and a lot of times it's a perception too, you know. Loneliness sometimes is a perception, you know. The same situation, one person will feel very happy and the other person will feel lonely. So sometimes I think loneliness is a perception. So hopefully we can all change that, okay?
Yes.
Thank you so much for
You're
your
so
time.
welcome.
What is your name?
I'm Lauren.
Thank you. Bye-bye.